Welcome to Unnamed Unknown Podcast. Welcome guys, welcome Brady, welcome Ming.
Thanks, man.
Max, EB, thanks a lot for this new brand journey of Unnamed Unknown Podcast. So please introduce our two friends today, like Brady and Ming. Since last 5 years, please introduce where you are, how you feel today about coming and being with us here.
Feel very good.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Always
Thank you for
good to
inviting
have
me.
you. Always.
Good to see you again. We linked up 2021. Last time I saw you in the pipe, not so far from here. We had the freestyle session with also our cameraman over here. First time I ever rapped into a microphone in front of a crowd, which was an experience within itself.
That's all about it, like the no borders and covers.
It was amazing.
Yeah, man. This what we try to do always is like to put people artists out of their like confident zone and to go up. And Ming, I'm happy you came today. Nice
lovely to be
meeting
here,
you.
man.
First time we met each other. You're from Amsterdam, I heard.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
please introduce you.
My name is Ming. I was born and raised in Amsterdam. I've been making music for 5 years now. Started off doing poetry when I was like 16, I think, and then gradually grew into freestyling with friends. And then 5 years ago, I started recording. And it's been a journey, man. It's lovely to be here. Warm bath, really. So also lovely to meet you, man.
Likewise.
And one of the things I really noticed is that I started off in my bedroom and by myself, and none of my friends make music. So it's been lovely to be immersing myself in more of a community and meeting like-minded people and just creating, man.
Yeah, it's dope. That's why we are here, and we like now today introduce all the team because like we are like around the third episode we're gonna release. We got nice feedback. Thanks a lot all the people around who are like watching us. You're not a lot yet, but I hope you will speak to your friend and your friend of your friend. And even the girls you don't say you meet, but I know I see you meeting those girls. So speak to them as well. And then like now, yeah, I'm in love with those two guys because he's from Amsterdam, my city of love, and Ireland. Guys, please. It's two rappers who I think like travel a lot as well in their head. And I heard about Jamaica, which is a country of my love as well. And I want to learn a bit about your journey now in Jamaica. How you feel, or what's your first idea to go to Jamaica? Because for me, short story, was my dream. Yeah, at least I grew up with Bob Marley, all that shit. So as soon as I got the money ticket, let's go there.
Yo, it's completely similar for me because Bob Marley was like my first like real musical love. Like I remember getting the CD whenever I was 8. My mom got it for me, Mellow Moods Part 2 from Lidl. And I just listened to that album over and over. And that was really like my first experience from being a kid of like the first music I knew that I loved, you know?
Same. I know definitely. And we were speaking earlier before the recording, like about the BPM. Yes. But now we are speaking about the BPM of love.
Exactly.
You know about it.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And you listen a bit of reggae?
Yeah, when it hits you, you feel no pain.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
No, definitely. Bob Marley was, I'm still a big fan, and it's definitely time period in my life where I listen to that like on repeat. I haven't much lately, to be honest. Might pick up again after this. No, it's lovely music, and I think one of the most inspiring artists ever.
He's a top poetry guy.
Yeah, that, and also, but like the poetry comes to me comes second to the energy he brought, because I mean the story about him getting shot on stage and then finishing the concert saying like, people who do evil don't take a day off, so I won't either. Man, that is inspiring.
Right, yeah. And you should go to Jamaica. I went to those places, like I told you earlier, but this manager of Bob Marley was Island Records.
Yes, Chris Blackwell.
Yeah, Chris Blackwell, who made this Bob Marley music up, like by samples, by making like 3 minutes instead of 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So I've been over there, but please, tell us more about Jamaica.
As I said, like the love for Jamaica, like yourself, and reggae had been deeply rooted from a young age. And just like you, whenever I got enough money to get a ticket to go, I went. So the first time I went was 2018. That was just a holiday for 2 weeks. And I think it was around March, yeah, I was over there for St. Patrick's Day, I remember. So I was there for 2 weeks, and just like, it is what you expect it to be in a sense. Like, you get there, the people are mad charismatic, talented, like everybody.
Everyone is
like 95% of the people I think you meet there, if you play them a beat, on 95% of people on the street, they'll have something for you. You know what I mean? They'll have some lyrics.
And the voice they got,
And
instrument.
Yes.
They got instrument. I think they trained that from young.
The vocal
when this vocal
is crazy.
like vibrating in the whole house, I think they can break your glasses with the voice. No, I'm telling you, for real, you're like shocked. You're like, what the hell? You know, like,
real.
And they're big guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And unapologetic, like you said, we were talking off camera before about the African culture and how they're so unapologetic about it, and how it's so like engraved into them as a family and as a community. They're like so on their sleeve with it, you know, like they're artists true and true, you know. So I suppose like when I started to become a vocalist or a rapper or whatever myself, that was a place that I really wanted to return to, because I mean, I was just impressed by even some of the contemporary music they make, like the vocal ranges that they can achieve with it. Even though some of it I didn't particularly love, like the track-wise, but the vocals are so impressive, you know? So I suppose it was just a trip about going over to extend on the bit of the culture that I learned from the holiday, and then actually to try and live there for a few months and like soak it in, and also to break down the patois, you know. I wanted to really be able to understand the patois, because it's so it's so heavy, it's so thick, and the way they mash up the sentences, it's so palpable and so so attractive. If you're a musician, I think like every musician.
Even when I was a bit to try to bring like some pro and cons. There's too much reggaeton now for me.
Yeah, dancehall.
Yeah, dancehall. Reggaeton is starting to be like too much, too noisy, too messy for myself, for my kind of. But still dancing until late. I still remember, we will give you the time to explain what you feel about countries. But to finish on this, I remember I was in Kingston. I tried to go to join a party. It was midnight, 1, no one. I said, okay, it's a shitty party, no one. Then I arrived 2, 3.
Right.
They party until 6.
Oh, serious, yeah.
Full, but they arrive like 1, 2 in the night, you know, like, wow. It's like opposite from Amsterdam, you know, when they can like finish in Amsterdam, take a plane, go to Jamaica, and follow.
That could be done.
Which kind of country you like? Like for your music, if you have to decide one country, like wow.
One country, ooh, that's
it
hard.
It inspire you, even can be Amsterdam.
No, yeah, definitely Amsterdam. I love Dutch language. I started off making music in English, but then eventually I went to Dutch and I really started hearing myself a lot more. And I think that the English inherently is a lot more of a beautiful language. It's very easier to say something beautifully in English. And Dutch is a bit more guttural, hard, and if you manage...
If you're saying it, you're in Dutch a little bit. I tried to look at one movie on the Netflix, and the subtitle in Dutch was hard to listen. It was not like Italian.
It is very difficult.
No, like French or Italian especially, or Spanish, that's beautiful languages which carry like poetry in everyday sentences. Well, in Dutch, I don't think that's often the case.
Could you make like mix Dutch and English? I never heard like in the song. Could be nice to mix, and can be even kind of education, because for us, I know like many foreigners even here around the neighborhood, they are here for 10 years, 20 years, they don't speak any Dutch.
Oh yeah, it's a hard language.
Yeah, you know.
I'm one of those.
Everyone is.
14 years, guilty. 14 years over here, never. I tried, but it just ended up in tragedy.
We all tried.
But hey, we don't make it easy for you guys, because whenever we hear...
Try to speak it there.
But
you'll be answering in English. I'll be like, all right, then let's just go over in English, you know. It's way faster.
Yeah, so it's good. So now we're gonna make how can I say that? But bet on us. If the audience growing up and they help us, we will do the season 2 in Dutch. Not English anymore. Okay, Max, you're in it, huh?
I gotta learn.
Better download Duolingo.
I'm gonna just maybe subscribe to that or try to go to a real school. Last time I went to the real school, but like I lost it when like one of the teachers was like, yeah, this word you can say it in a certain way, but it also changed by the moment, and I was like, why? It depends how I feel now. That doesn't make sense to me. Like a language should be like the language. You always speak that, and it's always that. You know.
Yeah, but as you want to travel and to understand
The culture.
Yeah, and people, you need to speak Dutch. I feel like that. So, let's say I understand now. Ik heb je klein beetje. Maar it's hard, you know what I mean? So then, yeah, it's about, again, a journey, like making music. And I heard you, like earlier, saying, okay, because I check your YouTube channel and your video in it. And I thought, okay, it was 1 year, but I feel like it's full in it, but it doesn't have a lot of contents. And now I want to learn more about it because it's like mostly the struggle of all artists. If you're like deep in your art, in the energy, so you go gig to gig, like producing. You don't have time for social media. If you look at it now, social media is a full job.
Yeah.
When you're like struggling, putting out that, you post, shit, I forgot that. Then you delay, what the hell? So I'm asking you how you feel and explain us a bit where you are in your journey. So last year you post this, what's your influence, and I guess like every athlete, because I try to box a bit, I work with some athletes and some boxer, and sometimes they say, I prefer not to fight for 1 year, but I improve. So I get step back, improve, then I know, okay, I grew up.
I hear you, man. Yeah, definitely. So last year I was releasing a small EP of 6 songs, and I released up till number 3. I was doing a waterfall release, and then after the 3rd one, the 4th song was about discipline and about motivation. And funny enough, that was the song I got stuck on. I couldn't release it. I mentally, things got a bit dark for me. I spent half a year not in a good place, and I stopped making music completely. I said to myself, and I'm quitting because I know this is what I want to do. I know this is where my heart lies, but I can't seem to get the energy needed because everything I made, it wasn't perfect, and it needed to be perfect. I was very hard on myself. Okay. So I learned that I have ADD, okay. And I went into therapy, and it was a journey of self-acceptance. And then I picked up music again at some point, just because I had the feeling I needed to write something. I started writing, get shit off my chest, and so I had the feeling I need to do that again. And then I thought, well, why not put it on a beat? And then for the first time in a long time, I could hear again behind the artist, the person that was speaking to the audience that when I release it, I'm speaking to. So I really changed my view when it comes to creating music, and also when it comes to life. And I gained a lot more self-acceptance. And now in my journey, it's been just creating, and I'm very busy with other stuff as well, doing my studies and doing a course to become a personal trainer. And then every single moment I was free, I was off. I come home, I'm tired from the day, but I'm like, oh, let's start that beat up and let's record. And that's been lovely. And now I'm gearing up to finally, again, release.
Okay.
And making a whole marketing strategy and content plan and everything. And it's not something I've always felt like was a kind of delusion. Diluted.
Yeah, okay.
It diluted the art a bit. But now I've tried to change my view. And now for example, the first song I'm releasing is a kind of a skit about me being the pilot, taking the listeners as passengers through the night. And now I'm planning all these different funny short videos of me in pilot outfit. For example, sitting drunk at the bar, and then someone, bro, you need to fly. And then dropping the hook and stuff like that. So and that way I found a new way to look at creating this content as another form of expression.
Okay.
And I think if I can find the same energy I found in creating, I can come home and be like, okay, let's plan a new video. And that's the way I try to look at tackling the social media.
Okay. And Badri, about you, like social media, all the stuff, or to promote yourself?
To promote myself?
Yeah. Help us, like, for the new artists, I think because you're a bit like in the game for quite years. So now, like, I feel like all the young artists need some tips and some, help or some tips.
Definitely. I mean, maybe I could use some tips too, to be honest. I mean, I recently released an album about a month ago, and of course I tried to do my due diligence when it came to the promotion.
Okay,
and
so
what I could do.
Promotion?
Rural Oral on Spotify. You can find it now. Paul Brady, all cameras. But I tried to plug it as much as I could, from my humble following that I have. You know what I mean?
Fan base. It's a bad word sometimes, fan base, but let's say now I understand as well you have with the social media that high tech technology will bring us some new marketing tools, some stuff, can be as well like more focused on your people, community, you know, like to make your own merch, your own money, your own stuff, like has to be maybe small, but consistent.
Consistent and, you know, and understanding your target and understanding that, you know, you got a certain amount of people that...
So to who you speak? Which is your audience,
My audience, I mean, I suppose because my album was so deeply rooted in, like, acknowledging where I'm from, you know, and some...
Where are you from?
Cavan in Ireland. So it was like, even the logo of the album itself is like the crest of the football club that we usually... that exists in my town, obviously with a few twists on it. I took some things out and put a weed leaf in, and you know, I defaced it. You know what I mean? So I wanted it to be something that could be like recognizable by obviously everybody from my hometown. Everybody from Ireland will recognize that logo. You know.
So you have a strong audience in your own town.
Well, I feel so. I mean, like I feel like. There was definitely some people were into...
So that's the start. That's the start. Your neighbor, your family, as to the feedback, and you build it. Because, as you said, it's your emotion you're dealing.
Yeah.
So, and part of yourself. Some people can fake it. Let's say, okay, I can start tomorrow like some epic, like house deep or whatever, like sad song. But maybe I'm happy. But I know how to give you this feeling. And I feel sometimes people and artists are getting lost to feel too much about it. You know, like you said, and I remember like an interview of Fred again, he was saying, you know, I tried to make some music about love, whatever, but I never had like heartbroken. So I couldn't be like, that's perfect. Now I had the girls, I had heartbroken, I feel like
you can
sometimes some stuff you cannot write it about if you went through it.
Right.
You know, you need to have the first-hand pain experience to talk about some stuff.
Musician, and that's where you have to have like a nice team, nice surrounded people, because you can get lost.
As
you explained to us,
And another thing about pain, I have to say that pain is used for paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
lovely.
like, you know, when you get that and you feel those experiences, you have the pain, but then you can transform it into paint. You can transform it into making something from it, a lesson.
Lovely.
Do you have one emotion you prefer to create it? To create, like when you're in your creativity time, you have one emotion is the best for you, like you're more productive.
Yeah, well, I definitely don't think I've ever delved into anything too sad, you know, which I would like to. I would like to go to that area. I would definitely say more of the stuff that I've made is more maybe upbeat or melancholy, but maybe not so actually like sad as a genre, like something about heartbreak. So that's something that I would like to look into, you know, because it's been for me more stuff with momentum, I suppose. You know what I mean? But there's plenty of space for that. You know?
Dope, man.
You?
For me, well, I wouldn't say there's one emotion, but I think the central theme for me is I've always used writing and music as a way to answer questions, or maybe not even find the answers, but at least define the questions. And so, most of my music, not all of it, but most of my music is about questions I have.
Okay.
So, for example, what is the meaning of life? What am I doing here? Is there any substance to it, or is it just what I ascribe to it? And then, for example, I write a...
It's a philosophical question, and I feel like everyone now more and more should ask that. Because when you see people in our community and news around us, like, what the meaning of all of this? So, for sure, it's a good question. Like, why? Yeah. Why every morning I wake up, I'll do that, and if we go back to Jamaica, that's Babylon system, you know? That's in circle, and as you say, I just want to have time for my music. I cannot, because I need to pay this, I need to pay that, and so it's not reaching the good rhythm to make good music. If you look at people who make good music or whatever, they're out of time, because maybe for 5 days I can be full producing, maybe I need 3 days to sleep. You know, it's like, and I feel, because I was doing some producing with some friends, Qatari, and he has a new album as well, releasing, and he asked me how you produce, like every day a bit one few hours, you don't do 1-2 days and then like full for 1 day. I say yes, most of the time, because I feel I want, and then you have like, okay, I've got this idea, you deep dive in it, and then you're like a zombie, like it's working for hours because you want to reach that. And I feel again as well the same, because a lot of projects are not done by producers, because then they lose this energy and they are not like organized well enough from the beginning to finalize that. And I saw all of friends all around, like, and then again, the guys who go on up and up is the guys who start the project, work on it, and finish it. Always, it's the big workers. You know what I mean? Is that the big tips you can give to the young? I will say, do it until the end, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah, and I think that's the last part is really the key. I think even if it's not perfect, I think at some point, and which is the hardest thing I think as an artist, is you have to cut the umbilical cord and you have to let the child out in the world.
That's it.
And it's never going to be completely perfect, because the perfect song has never been written, because in the end it's an expression of human emotion, and that is
now, which is tricky, is like you feel you need to be understandable by everyone. At the end you won't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Better
but you get the
polarizing.
feeling like, oh, no one loves me. Oh, it's shitty music.
Yeah.
But then you have your enter in the market.
Yeah.
So it's not personal. So that's why, like I heard you earlier as well saying, like, I'm a math guy. I'm a math guy as well. So I need to understand everything. So sometimes I just need to put my ego and my stuff like out of that. I say, okay, the market. I'm no one. We are no one. Unnamed Unknown Podcast. So we try to do something to merge with people. At the end is already to be artist. Then we already speak about it with Yannick and Madrev about, okay, what it is to be successful as artists. So we just released the album. We're artists, we're happy, but no money. Or, okay, I don't like the album, I have money. No, this is what you prefer. But it's a philosophical question.
Compromises.
Compromises. Even Damian Marley sing Compromise. So yeah. And the math way of to see music, how you will describe it. So we spoke a bit earlier of the podcast because they were a bit long to set up everything. Thanks, guys.
You're back.
And
we apologize.
And to be more serious about it is like, how I have my way. I will explain to you later how to put in my brain how to produce and make music and to understand music. And you approach as well, like Matt. I really want to learn more about how you see it, how you play with notes, with your rap, and what is the best BPM and stuff you like.
Yeah, well, I think, although I'm very much of a maths guy, for me personally, when it comes to the creation, at least the first stages, it always starts with a feeling. And for me, I can't catch that feeling within math. So when it comes to, of course, counting the bars, checking the flow, checking the syllables, that's the moment I start counting the math. But before that, it starts with a feeling, and I just, even before I catch the flow, I just write down what the concept is. I write down what I want to express, and then I start expressing without having to confine myself to having it be suited yet. And then in that process I iterate, and then that's where the math comes in for me. Then I start counting the syllables, start checking the flow, see if I can, like, the flow I get there, if I can bring it back, and how I can bring it back within the rhyme scheme as well, and stuff like that. So that's for me the more of an iterative process, where the pure creation just comes from emotion, and that's what's underlying it. That's where I start.
Good place to start. Same question for me?
No, I know you're not a math guy.
No, I'm not a math guy. Not a math guy. No.
No, but in the end,
So I won't ask you to count. Maybe the money, if you want to share with me, I can count for you.
I mean, as I said, like, the maths has always been foreign for me from my whole life. But also from DJing, I started to get like a subconscious understanding of maths. You know, that kind of way. Like, I would get, like, you know, if I'm mixing, I have like 16 bars and 32 bars, and like, I know in my head, like, when the drop is coming, and you know, how many bars it is till the next. Like, that was engraved in me. But it was only after maybe 6-7 years of DJing I realized, oh shit, this is actually all very mathematical and makes a lot of linear sense, you know.
It's interesting because you have the math approach and the feeling approach as well. Because I'm a math guy, but sometimes with the drop or the beginning of the song, I prefer to learn it by feeling, not to count. Because I feel like when I'm counting, I'm not focused on the right things, you know. I prefer to get the feeling, even if I have to start 10 times and somehow, then I know, okay, even if I'm off, then you fix it. And I feel what we were saying is the organic stuff, people merge with you. Because when it's too robot, too mechanic, and sometimes what happened with the Western music, it's so mechanic, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
So the feeling is
like,
it's okay, I eat that for days, from morning, radio, everywhere.
Yeah.
And then when you travel or you have that organic sound from Asia or from South America.
Yeah.
It's okay, he's alive.
Refreshing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
refreshing.
Yeah, I feel you,
Get
man.
some different emotion or whatever.
Humanized.
Yeah, in it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So although I think it's a very strong tool, the math, I think for me it's if I construe myself too much to actually counting everything out and stuff, then I lose the creative energy.
Yeah, it should be a mix, you know. Yeah. I use like I said earlier, like magic number. So like 7 or whatever, and then I say, okay, every 7 times I put this song. And try it, okay, it's messy, okay, I have to change. Maybe it's not the good combinati with numbers. And then you try, okay, and then always learn from the rhythm of drum from Africa. And most of the time you get back on your feet and it's nice feeling, nice stuff.
I once watched a documentary about the mathematics behind Bach's music.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. It's really, because this guy wasn't schooled in maths, but if you look at his music, there's many, like for example, the golden ratio comes back a lot, and there's many like repeating patterns that repeat in like very set mathematical forms, which is, and then it was all feeling. He just felt that, and that was the way it should be. And in the end, apparently, it was so easily described by, it was described by math as well, which is very interesting, because I think really it's the language which we use to describe the universe.
Yeah, and you put me in my head, this picture now is like in the Quran. I'm from a Muslim family. And in the Quran, the sentences and the word, if you look at numbers, it makes sense. So I think like for sure, like philosophy, words, number come together, and some stuff like explain a bit, like we said in Arabic, is mektub, is written. So even your journey, brand new journey in the music is what you're writing, you know, about the feeling, about what you want to share. And I feel like from Monday to Sunday, you don't eat the same. You know, Monday you need these chill vibes. On Sunday, your Sunday night is the time to text your ex, you know. No, it's right, you know.
Okay, she didn't turn around.
I always say that when I was young, you know, like,
okay, that's fine.
If I receive a text from the girls on Sunday night, I don't answer to that. Because I
That's
should be
the moment
Friday
you turn off the phone.
Saturday night guys, you know. If your Sunday guys, like she doesn't have a good time for weekend and she's thinking about
even
you now.
worse, the Saturday night.
Yeah.
Don't answer.
So please text us on Friday night. Nah, but I'm joking. But if you look at music, and I remember Bob Marley, it was love, all about love. It's all about love. So the feeling, meaning from your family, from your siblings or whatever. So you have a song about love?
Yeah, actually, I recently I fell in love very much. I broke up with my ex-girlfriend 2.5 years ago. And
how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, you're starting to be serious. Now you're serious.
Yeah, and I fell in love like hopelessly. And when I broke up with my ex, I was thinking, okay, I'll be single for a while. And then I met this girl, and I thought, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And she really broke my heart, and in my opinion, didn't.
What you say? You see her, and you say that's what I need.
No, yeah, I met her. I was dating her for a while.
It's important because
no, I was dating her for a while, but she really broke my heart, and I think she didn't treat me fairly. But bygones be bygones.
Retrial.
And as a part of the process of letting that go and realizing that I don't need anyone else to be enough, I'm enough by myself, and really feeling that deep down, I wrote a song, which is going to be on the album I'm going to release after a couple other projects.
I should introduce you Yannick Sonka, because he has maybe 100 songs about X. So I don't know how many X you got, man, but you have to tell me when down, come down.
No, but yeah, that really helped me process that. And whenever I'm now feeling sad or lonely, I just play that tune and I realize, oh, it's all good.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's I think also one of the most amazing things about making music. It's also this diary. I have these songs from 5 years ago that I sound horrible because I just started out, but they show me who I was back then.
Yeah.
And they also show me the growth I've had since then, which is very, I think, important. Well, we both work out. You were also interested. We were talking about working out earlier, and one of the things I really noticed when I started working out and becoming bigger is that I couldn't see that I became bigger anymore.
But with picture.
But then with the picture from before, then you see, oh, I've made all this growth. And in your mind, I think we always tend to downplay the growth we make. And with that way, in that way, the musical journey and the musical diary I've made is very good reminder of that I'm on the right path.
And a good source of energy is like a kind of ego boost. You know?
Yeah.
You look at yourself.
Absolutely, definitely. I always like to keep those recordings from years ago, no matter how bad they are. Now that I look at them, the worse the better, because I can go back and listen to that and go, Jesus, that was terrible. You know? I'm only a little bit better now, but I think.
But you can still see your signature or the way you want it to go.
Exactly. Yeah. You can still see the bare bones, the template of where you were going with it. And like for me, when I was writing it, I felt like this is going to be so easy. Like when I get to the microphone, I'm just going to spit it. It's going to sound perfect. It's going to be amazing. But then you realize you turn the microphone on and you don't have any techniques, you don't have any tools, and you realize, oh shit, it's going to take a bit longer than I thought, you know?
Yeah. So, techniques, especially for rappers. You are two rappers.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe later if you want to share with us some like sentences, let's say, like we call it in French, because sometimes it's not English, it's not my own tongue. So sometimes I'm a bit struggling to find the right word, but two sentences you like to place mostly in every song, or for you is your signature. I really want to hear that from you. And how you start like the white blank page, and how you start like making this song for you, like
for me, how do I write my lyrics? I would say 80% of the time I've just wrote lyrics without a beat and just wrote them as lyrics.
Like lyrics. So the meaning is important for you from the beginning. You don't have a sound and then you put lyrics. It's like you have something to say.
Yeah, a lot of the time I would start with just writing something that I think sounds kind of cool, you know? And then I might have something in my head. I mean, I still have lyrics in my head that I wrote 7-8 years ago that I listen to a beat and I go, oh shit, maybe it might work on this, you know? And I go, maybe it might work on this. So I try and take those lyrics and fit them onto a template, like with the album that I just made. Like some of those lyrics, like in one song, you might hear something that I wrote in 2019, and then the next verse might be something I wrote 2 weeks ago, depending on if it sounds good for that certain moment, you know? But the process I'm trying to work more towards now, like for the next thing I'm doing, is I'm trying to write 2 instrumentals, and I'm trying to understand the melodies, and also trying to sing a little bit more in the next thing, and just trying to get involved with melodies and try and tailor make the lyrics a little bit more.
The harmony, melodies.
Yeah, to the song, and maybe like even hear the instrumental of the song and feel like, okay, does this feel sad? Does this feel happy? Does this feel whatever? And then try and evoke whatever the instrumental is telling me, and then put that into lyrics and maybe topical about the song, and maybe make it into more of a package like that. But I definitely don't have one formula, you know. I trying to keep mixing, because I might be on the bus one day and I might just think of something and I put it down, and then I continue that.
I have my notes on my phone as well.
Just jot something.
Like two kind of papers, book everywhere. Sometimes I just merge all my stuff, try to merge the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, man. Pick and mix it, you know, and you don't know what's going to come together. And sometimes you make a strange puzzle, but it's a piece, it's a puzzle nonetheless.
No, I remember you first time we met, you rap, and I said, wow, the guys just try like this kind of Eminem, Irish Eminem.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. That's a compliment.
No, but to be honest, you have that kind of many words come out, this kind of techniques.
Right.
I think you learned this technique, and
absolutely.
So I'm telling you, was this kind of feeling, emotion you gave to us.
I appreciate that.
I have to say, while you were saying this, and especially when you came with the moment on the bus, I was just picturing the 8 Mile scene of with the pad on the bus.
Just with a fucking with an Irish flag. Exactly.
No, the soccer club crest.
Exactly. Bottle of Buckfast on the side.
I think the alien from New York was from an Irishman.
Who's that?
The music, you know, I'm an alien.
Alien?
Sting.
He was talking about Mexicans.
It was the Irish guys Arab in New York.
No, it's an Englishman in New York. It's literally the chorus.
we don't recognize England here. We don't recognize.
Well, Oh, that could be kind
Yeah,
of dope.
could work. Well, we already had the Jamaican in New York remix, you know.
We just need the Mexican then.
No, Jamaican.
I'm
in New York
representing.
is Tiken
Bring
Jaffa
us some
Coli.
aliens.
Who sings the Jamaican in New York?
I'm actually not sure.
Tiken Jaffa.
I don't know.
I'm not
Tiken
sure.
Jaffa
I
Coli.
actually
I'm
just
not
heard
sure.
it.
We should double check together.
What we're gonna check?
But
Yeah.
Jamaican in New York.
Jamaicans in New York.
I think
there's a lot of them.
Tiken Jaffa Coli.
There's plenty of them. I think, pretty sure.
Tiken Jaffa Coli.
Yeah.
I think so. A reggae musician from
Good tune.
Ivory Coast.
Good
I'm
tune.
not sure. Double check with me.
Dope. No, yeah, I resonate with what you said, man. For me as well, it's often that I feel this burst of inspiration, and then I write down a whole for example, I write down like 50 bars in one go, and then the next time you sit down to, and there's often that the bursts of inspiration are without instrumentals, and then sometimes you sit down to write, and you barely get like 2 sentences on paper. But for me, it's just whenever I have these bursts of inspiration and I have this whole song just rolls out, afterwards I try to iterate again. So I'm not just putting it down on the beat as I had it in my head, but I'm tailor making it to the beat afterwards.
Yeah.
Which is also why it's for me so important to like work one-on-one with producers, because then if I have a certain idea in my head, we can create it, and then also that the feedback from the producers often brings in the most interesting and creative ideas, because for me, I'm really a lyricist. So when it comes to the music and the melodies and stuff, then it's amazing to have someone that just be like, oh, but when you have this flow over here, you leave the space there, and we just put like a little synth, so you can have a little back and forth with the synth and stuff like that. It's just
Okay, so with how many producers you work?
So I'm now working with 4 different producers, but mostly with this. The biggest project I'm doing is with this EDM producer who never before worked with rappers. Mostly looking into like a house, and also really like spoken word over house, really bringing a different vibe to.
But I feel now, like rap, you have more and more like kind of house rhythm or whatever, like fusion from Afrobeat, from Afro trap and drill, which I like, because it's making like very different emotions, vibes, and from Travis Scott, like the drill guys or whatever, trap. I feel like, okay, you got this African style, this vibration, that stuff, even if it's like a bit too mainstream and. No, but the fusion in between rap and house for me is not big border,
That's established.
Yeah.
In a sense, yeah.
And you produce? Any one of you produce music?
No. I mean, I do make beats, but I haven't released any beats. I haven't I mess around with it. I'm not like serious into making beats, but I definitely do try.
Because you DJ a lot in Amsterdam.
I DJ, yeah. I've got a residency.
Which places you went last time?
I'm DJing every week. Friday and Sunday I'm in the Bulldog. I've got a residency there.
Okay,
so you
Bulldog,
can come down there.
Quite known.
Yeah.
Not like our podcast. It's not unknown in Amsterdam.
Right. It's got a big name. It's got a big name, Bulldog. Yeah.
Signature Amsterdam.
Everyone, like Bulldog is the oldest coffee shop in Amsterdam and whatever.
And even to be honest, even some of the t-shirts, even some of the merch themselves, like...
They have 2 shops in the city sometimes.
2
shops only for merch.
Yeah. Because even I hear...
I don't know who's coming with a joint and then put the joint here, then with the hat and the shoes and...
But they do it because they go home and people recognize it. Back in Italy or Spain, it's almost becoming like a token. If you've been to Amsterdam, you get a hoodie. It's a brand. It's almost a full brand.
Yeah, they work like that. Okay, nice. So you DJ which day over there?
So I'm on Friday, I'm on Sunday in there. So there's a few different ones. I'm in the hotel, the one with the pool table. So you can smoke in there, you can drink in there. And it's cool, man. It's a fresh wave of people every week. You know what I mean? You have everybody from the lone traveller that's just coming in, smoking a joint by himself, happy to get away, to the 12, 15 people on a stag do, going mad. It's a melting pot of everyone.
Amsterdam is the melting pot, to be honest. That's why I feel like I love to be in Amsterdam. Is about creativity, meeting people. Wow, man.
Yeah.
You have Eddie, you meet all the world, like from music, they love here. And you have that special venues, location as Melveg, Al Paradiso, even Lofi now, like that's...
They love music here.
Yeah, they love music. In terms of capacity of people and how big the city is and how many venues and music stuff, we are like quite...
Although I have to say that what I've been recently discovering, that when it comes to guiding and helping young artists, like in Utrecht you have a couple different... you have the House of Hip Hop there. Love the House of Hip Hop, go check them out, it's a lovely place. In Rotterdam, you have this marked up media and the different. I forgot the name. They're helping like young artists develop. And in Amsterdam, for some reason, you don't really have this. It's no, at least not for rap or hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not involved enough to see and to know about it, but yeah, I mean, artists struggle and more. I heard, like, for example, for Paradiso, the Gemeente, or the municipality, cut down half of the budget for them, you know, so it's crazy, you know. I mean, we are in a time now, like, people with big firm, whatever, like industry, make more and more money, dividends or whatever, stocks, share, whatever. And then they cut down Paradiso artist stuff. So that's exactly where we merge now, where we are standing, like, what the hell now? Like, you putting the money in the wrong place, definitely, because now, like, artists we have to support the artists, because it's not easy, you know, to survive and to make your own, and it's in terms of investing, not only money, it's time. And then when you have the Gemeente municipality helping you, is why and where, like, in Europe, we were, like, making a lot of arts, and now they are killing it for business or whatever. So it's something, like, very important for the new artists as well, is where and how we can raise money and to find this community who can help us, like a friend who can produce some stuff at the beginning. Okay, it's not perfect, you can always go up, but you can start, and for free. And I think music has to be free at the beginning, you know, when you make it has to be free, and has to be supported by the big artists. Let's say when you're billionaires, millionaires, you make music from scratch, has to have a tax, you know, we should ask the big guys taxes, you know, you can have like a label or a studio for free for young people. Instead of to give them money or whatever, open a studio with instruments. You know, those taxes, we should think about it and put it on the agenda.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think also the we were talking earlier about the sense of community. I think that is very important. And if I ever am gonna be able to make enough money from my music to open up like a creative space for young artists, man, I'm definitely.
That's why you share with us earlier, like, the guys who even own the rights from the music, but you are sharing the
distribution. Yeah.
So that I'm sure, like, many artists does. Yeah. Like, I know as well, I heard, like, DJ Snake, the big artist helps a lot. I'm not saying no one helps.
No, yeah, definitely.
But just has to be, like, more and more, you know, like, because I'm sure we have enough money to support the guys.
Nowadays, probably it's better for you just to be like an independent artist who actually just like, you are your own distribution, your own manager.
Fan base, you work on it small by small. That's
so much better.
Yeah. But then in the end, I think that's one of the hardest thing to do as a creative. You want to be able to focus on creating and put your energy and time where you're.
That's why it's a problem. Like, there's compromises. It's either you go for the big label, they're gonna suck most of your money, and then like have to deal with that part of like feeling like not valued enough for what you're actually doing. But then you have the time to do whatever you want, or you focus on your craft and then also think about like the other part, which is like the commercial part, and the most important part, which is like promoting your craft because you believe in what you're creating, which is probably the most difficult decision that an artist can have to make when it comes down to like what you want to do with your career.
Yeah. Definitely, but I do think that there are middle grounds in that. You don't have to compromise everything. I think that's
sure. When you have community to help you, that's where we merge, and that's why the topic with EB as well, he helped us. Thanks a lot for today, and the way of how we want to make it better and better as artists, as the painter, podcaster, actors, poet. Doesn't matter, the same. You know, you want to be focused on what you are giving to the audience or the people you want to share. At least maybe I just want to be in this niche, you know, I want to be like in that venue, 400 people, I just want to deal that. I'm not the guys who want to do like radio stuff. I want live, I love live, you know. So you don't have like right or wrong stuff or journey. You just have to be like connected, helping yourself in a community, and we can be different. That's why we come with no borders, no covers. No, it doesn't matter, you know. It has to be like, okay, I'm a rapper, I'm house, but okay, on this I can help you merge. And it's where the creativity comes from. So and
I also think that there's many people whose creative output is going to be regarding to marketing or distribution or how to like place someone in the market. This is also a creative endeavor. So if you can find people who are passionate about that and then work together, then I
exactly
think,
create a team, so you can actually all reach the same like goals that you may have in mind in different ways. Obviously, it's like for the marketing, the guy that loves marketing, helping an artist to become famous is actually pretty good, like commercial. Like you can actually like, use it as an experience that you can always use like for different kind of brands and stuff. Anyway, but as you were saying before, like the other important thing like that is happening in Amsterdam, like there's governments things like
funding,
fundings and stuff that can help you out solving a part of the problem.
We will put the link for the helping the new artists the Netherlands, Amsterdam, based in Amsterdam. Could be helpful, you know.
It's definitely,
we all need support, and everyone who wants to join and to share something on the podcast are more than welcome. Yeah, we don't judge.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Not
Lovely.
yet. Not yet. But one day will come the day.
Day of reckoning.
Judgment day.
I actually have a question for both of you. Yeah. So, because I had this very existential crisis when I found out generative AI, and especially the music generative AI. How do you look? How do you look at that? How do you feel about that?
Well, when it comes to AI and art, for me, I think like those things will never merge properly, because the thing, in my opinion anyway, about art is like what you were saying earlier on about like trying to get your album like perfect, you know, and 100% perfect, and that's not achievable, right? Yeah. And the thing I think that people are attracted to with art is the imperfection, you know what I mean? Is the fact, because we're all in a sense imperfect, we have flaws, you know? So like I think that's the part of art that
imperfection make it perfect.
Yeah, because you look at that painting and you know like somebody drew that, you know, and it's not AI generated. If AI did that, it'd be absolutely flawless and it'd be airbrushed and it'd be amazing, but there's a certain sense of it that wouldn't connect with you. At least that's how I feel. If I see something,
I agree with you, but I use AI as a tool.
Yeah, there's different ways.
In many skills.
No, but not for, I'm talking about art. I'm talking about music or drawing.
Yeah, in art I use AI.
Oh, really?
I will tell you how.
Okay, so
for example, like I start to produce, I make some music, even for my daughter, she wants to sing, I say, okay, but I want this music. Where is the melody as a bass? AI, stems.
Okay.
Where is the drum? So first I can steal some stems. Okay, I love this drum. Okay, I can pick up with this. So I use it first like that. Then you have other way to make some effects, some effects. So it's, let's say you just put like, I want a chill, hot, warm, red effect, and they offer you something. So it's part of your art. So
this is components like parts in it, but it's not the product.
No, it's not the final product. It's in part of the product. Yeah. Let's say it boosts my creativity.
Right.
And use it like faster. We are in Babylon system. It's getting faster. So
you are the agent. You are the agent creating.
You're directing.
Yeah, you're directing. It's like, yeah, indeed. It's like in the past you have like to click to do that. So the end user to produce, for example, I'm speaking about it. It was like a bit heavy. Now I'm faster because I have like a AI playlist, and I can even mix in the same time. So I can try 30 effects or sound or drums in the same time, singing in the same time, putting in my list. It's amazing.
But it's just optimizing the workflow.
Yeah. AI for me is like process, workflow, help you. Don't be like so. I'm a bit like that, all guys, but I learned from young. Okay, I can see it's faster than me and better in that specific stuff.
Okay, let me augment the question a little bit, because I agree with you with art. I think that true art is an expression of emotion, and as long as AI can't feel emotions, then it will never resonate in the same way, I think. But I think a lot of music is entertainment first and art second.
Yeah, true.
And I mean, although that's not the way I want to create, I think a lot of the audience does listen to music in that way. So
definitely.
For example, when it comes to, let's keep it simple, for example, lo-fi beats. I listen to a lot of lo-fi beats while studying. Yeah. And they very well could be AI made nowadays. Because I don't know what Spotify is doing behind the scenes. Maybe they're uploading AI music to get 100% of the royalties. And then there's a very big crowd of artists who make this lo-fi music who are now not getting a bag anymore. So what I'm saying is that either way you look at it, if AI is going to be involved in creating the product, not as a workflow tool, but in creating the product, then the total amount of money available for creative artists is going to shrink, because the audience is going to be distracted by whatever the new poppy
the
hit
big
song
players.
is made by AI.
Mm.
Because in the end, a lot of pop music is formulaic, and AI is very good at making formulaic things, and it's not there yet, but it's...
But let's say Justin Bieber or all that is like the same. We already have that project. So now that those we will lose money. But let's say our market won't change because we are still of scene of they need to see us. That's why you're like trying to go gym because you want to be on stage.
That's the reason, guys.
No, you know what I mean?
Image is important.
And I feel like it will boost your creativity in a way like the young Gen Z, even they recognize organic and stuff like easy. So maybe it's a space for us to say, okay, look, you're full of AI, everything, like fake stuff. Let's go back to the old interaction. So it merged with the idea of doing your venue stuff, doing your events, doing your merch, because people will meet you. Okay, I can buy on internet, but now it's cool to buy on the shop. You have 2 days to buy on this shop. So you have to go. So interaction.
And that's exactly what.
That's how it works now.
Yeah, when you were asking him about tips how to market, and although I'm a newbie in this, but I think one of the most key aspects to the brand I want to build is that you want to have that interaction with your audience. Show them the process of making the art, because the process
behind the scene
can never be made by AI. And I think that the process is going to become the art in some way. Sorry.
No. Like, what I wanted to say, like most of the time, like if you struggle maybe like with the part of marketing and marketing yourself, just ask ChatGPT. They know way better. He's gonna tell you exactly what to do and what to do, and if you follow, you're gonna get it.
One way, one thing, and you can start working with that. Exactly.
I feel like that's probably like
you
the
have
only
no
way you
excuses
should use AI nowadays. Maybe like what most people forget, like AI shouldn't be like taking place or your place. Like it shouldn't take the place of humans. It should just make their work a lot easier. So like that's probably the only way to use AI. Like so like if I'm working and I feel like my work will be like implemented or like maybe made better, I ask AI how to implement it, and then I follow through with that, because most of the time, like that's what like stops a lot of people from like trying to get into the commercial part or like their art and whatever. And I feel like that's probably like the best use of ChatGPT that a man can use right now.
I will give tips to everyone, because I read the article. It was not stupid, because he was speaking about ChatGPT, all the AI now turn with some SEO to have like the monetizing SEO. App monetizing. So they said it's gonna be like Uber. You start with Uber or like the co-working stuff, WeWork or whatever. You start, it was very cheap. €3, you do all the tour of the city. Like ChatGPT now is free. Now it's €300 to do the same tour. True. So ChatGPT will be the same. So now you have to use it to make your own process free. Because in 2-3 years, you're gonna be like
monetized.
Because how they're gonna do? Okay, now you have like a nicer workflow stuff processed by AI. It costs you that, but you have 2 employees less. Okay, so you can afford €1,000 for that.
True.
That's it.
It's true.
It's gonna be like that, because they used to do it with others. So I suggest to everyone, use it a lot. Vocabulary. We're gonna put a lot of links where you can use as a tool. And then produce from marketing with ChatGPT, from ethics, because you want this specific ethic. At the end, you have your own, made by AI. It's not a copy paste from someone else. So it's a nice tool, man. I feel so.
Because it can complement a lot of like the artistic life.
It's not create the whole thing, but it's a
tool.
It's an element.
It helps the workflow. And some creativity sometimes, because
you need creativity to use the tool. I think that's
I use it a lot for association. So when I'm writing lyrics, I want to have some form of theme. For example, plants or animals or whatever, and I want to keep putting this theme reoccurring in the lyrics. And then what I often do is I just put in like a word and ask to associate, just make a word wrap for me. And then there's a list of all these words that are related to that word, and just sparks my creativity.
Absolutely.
It helps me. For me, I'm not technical, because I didn't grow up with how to learn music or whatever. So, but I know I want to do and to go like these words in this way. So ChatGPT or others can help me a lot, because I know what I have to put, but technical things, I need help.
Yes, and that's where I can fill in.
And you fill in, because they offer you something, maybe I ask him 10 times before what I want, but I ask him. It's not like we are working together. No, it's like, for me, it's like an employee or someone you work with, but I has not to be the one who creates.
Yeah, it can't just create the whole song.
No.
That's the most important thing to remember. Like, it's just a tool. Like, as long as you know how to use your tool, like anything else, like PCs back in the days, like when they came out, people would be like, oh wow, PC is gonna take jobs and stuff. Yeah, it did. But like, that's because you can't fucking adapt to what is like the world is going. So the same we should do with AI. Like, AI is just a tool, and as long as we use it as a tool, it's not gonna take our jobs.
And it's creativity in music is crazy. I saw like even Pietro, we know a friend of us. He create with AI, like you make music with your hands and your body. So I think even for the show, experience will boost the creativity. And if you take it like that, take the step now, because then I'm sure it's gonna be very expensive to use this in terms of energy and stuff, everything. So now they try to attract everyone in the market using it. As soon as it's like Uber, whatever, in 5 years, it's over.
Trying to make you dependent as well. Also something to watch out for.
And then you just create your process and the way of to take it for you. So thanks, guys. I think we are like at the end of the journey.
Thank you guys as well. Appreciate it.
Thanks the team, and see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Wow.